Okay, folks, good morning. Happy Sunday. And as always, we'll start off with getting this stuff off my desk. Always, no matter how, well, I guess I could finish every session by putting things away, but that's going to cut into how much stuff I'm getting done. Good afternoon, my friend, whatever your name is. I'm sorry, I don't recognize Cyrillic. Good morning to you. I like how it looks. I just don't know what it says. Na zdrowie. I had a lot of fun having whiskey with you guys on St. Patrick's Day. There's a Scottish Independence Day or something coming up, I think in May or something like that. We'll have to do scotch on that day. Actually, I could probably do it every session, but I don't really have a drinking problem. I did vodka too. I went to a game convention last September, and the guy's like, "Hey, there's a guy over there who's giving out free bourbon. Go get you some." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "You got any?" I said, "No, all I got is this Russian vodka." I said, "Okay, that'll work." I never drank vodka straight. And I did. Well, it's just like, just like if I had scotch, you just sip on it slowly. It's not like, Alcohol makes me a better person. Because it doesn't control me. But anyways, I digress. Right now, my drug of choice is caffeine. So I have some interesting developments. Na zdrowie. You're from Belarus, not Russia. Okay. Excellent. White Russia. Belarus. So I have some interesting stuff to talk about, and I'm just going to get right back to it. I talked about ordering a couple things that they didn't have in town, and I'm going to switch from using sprue for antennas to wire. So I went online and I found this, and it was extremely inexpensive. It was like 99 cents shipped. I don't know how that's possible, but okay. But it's too thick. So I'm actually going to do them a favor, and I'm not going to return it. I'm sure I'm going to be able to use it for something if I order the right one, which is like half the thickness of this. So we'll have to go back and put antennas on some of these things. So, but it's just music wire. The sprue is just getting too brittle and just snaps on me. So there's no point in doing half. So that didn't work out. Now, one thing that I said I was talking about yesterday that's going to turn the corner on what I'm doing on my game is I don't like the idea of trees, and just about everybody has these. These are woodland scenic trees. I'm going to show you. That you either, obviously this is not doctored up, and I do not want to install a Windows update. Snooze. Jeez. I'm not gonna upgrade to Windows 11. Go fly a kite up your ass. You either make a base where all these things are glued down in, right? And then you put these things up. But then, these look like crap. Okay, real trees don't have this. And they can move on you and everything. So I was brainstorming, and I probably shouldn't show you this until I'm successful with it, but I like to steal my own thunder, I guess. I bought these packets of mini magnets. Really, really small. The smallest ones I could find. and I made one of these a guinea pig, drilled out the bottom of it, and put a magnet in it. So of course it's not good on anything unless you use something like a piece of metal sheeting, and then it stands up perfectly. So my intent is, and it doesn't have to be, perfect, but it's got to be able to stand up. And I did a rush job at this because I didn't want to go to the garage and get another drill bit. I just kind of used one, and it wasn't big enough, and kind of gouged it around, super glued it. I probably will use epoxy in the future. I'm probably going to get some of this stuff and do outlines for woods, and and they'll be nice with like tufts and stuff, and then you can put the trees wherever you want and move them around them, and then it'll look freaking great. Not these stupid bases that kill the look of everything else you've done. So, this stuff is available like magnet sheets. You could also use, this is the magnets I use for the bottom of the tanks. You could use magnets as well. I guess tube magnets, that works okay too. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be like super strong. I mean, the only way to get these stronger is to get bigger magnets. I don't want bigger magnets. This works on every single size tree I have. I think these are the smallest ones I have. But you could take these, just by adding a little bit of dry brushing and airbrushing, you can make them look a lot better. This is just right out of the package. You can come in here and you can dry brush the part of the trunk that you see, and you'll see them. When we get to play a game, it's going to look freaking stellar. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all my trees, and because I don't mind them being on an outline that you can interchange. For instance, you've got maybe 8 or 9 different outlines with every 2 or 3 sets of trees, and you can kind of mix it up. And within that outline, you get cover from the woods and stuff like that. But I'm going to test this by adding some paint and maybe some tuft on it and stuff, and just make sure that it's got some grip. It doesn't have to have a huge, awesome grip. It just has to be enough where it can stand on the tree trunks. When you have guys there, you can move them out of the way. You can put it somewhere else there, and it's not obtrusive. And just to kind of show you. Oh, now he's hiding in the woods. It's effective. Oh, find the camera, Tony. And then you got to measure a distance to him. Just take the thing off. Put it back. So, and these are like extremely inexpensive. So, but I don't want to throw a bunch of money at the problem and find out it doesn't work. But it should. It should. And I like that. So, anyhow, you guys will see it when it's done. But right now we just want to power through the vehicles. I'm enjoying doing the vehicles, even though I don't need this many vehicles for it. But as much as I want to go to the desert, we're stuck over in the Eastern Front. Or as I like to say, the big battle. Okay, so, and then when I'm done with this batch of Germans, we're probably going to switch to T-34s again. As I really like painting the Soviet stuff. Okay, so we sprayed these guys. We sealed them, some of them, and then we'll talk about the Frankenpanzer in a second. These guys are sprayed and sealed. So they're super flat. And I am really happy with this sealant. I don't know how durable it is. I don't want to find out, because if I find out how durable it is, it means my stuff's getting damaged. But these guys are extra flat. This thing's heavy as shit, and this thing is light. It's just a mixture of all kinds of different stuff here. So, yeah, so we're going to put these guys on stands. I don't have a huge I don't have a super long painting session available today, unfortunately. I've got maybe an hour and a half. So we'll see what we can knock out in an hour and a half. But we've got, here's the two stands for the Panthers. This is the one for the Lukes. I made it the same size as the other Panzer IIs. I think this is the one for the Lukes. Where's the one for the Panzer III? Did I not make one for the Panzer III? It's not a big deal. It's just... kind of strange. I don't know. I'm pretty organized, and sometimes I can't. This is the one for the Panzer III. Okay, so the one for the Panzer II, the Lukes, that's the one we put the goop on. So it's not painted, I don't think. Where the heck did it go? Oh well. Anyways, I want to talk about the Panzer, the Frankenpanzer, which is the Eschi model, which was just a mess. It's a vehicle that doesn't exist, and it lacks a lot of detail on it. So I got some spare tracks and stuff that we can add to this thing, but that's not wanting to fit together just right. Anyhow, we this had a bunch of details on the top of the turret that just don't exist. So we took those things off, and I didn't do the best job in the world of doing that, but it's going to get camouflaged. It's going to be for the cursed time period. So it's gonna pretend to be a late G. The only thing is it does not have the aperture here for the gunner's sight. We're just going to move on. I'm not going to sit there and order one, or, you know. These are things I've had for 30 years, and I've never done anything with them, and it's time to do stuff with them and get them on the tabletop. And if they're inaccurate kits, then they're inaccurate kits. I'm going to move on. We're going to paint them and do the best we can. Now, when we get new things, yes, we will go and buy the ones that are more accurate, you know, but... You like the Panther. This particular Panther is one I got from an estate sale for $1. It was already pre-done, and it was all that color on the inside. I'm not going to spend $20 for extra tracks and stuff for something that cost me $1. I'll just do the best I can with it. I mean, it was missing a pipe back here. I made one out of sprue. You know, you just do the best you can and then move on. When you get another Panther, yeah, you buy it. I'm going to buy, you know, good ones, you know, but I don't see any point in not using these. So they paid up pretty well, as you can see. I'm really happy with the camouflage scheme, how that one turned out, you know. So old decals from the Hasegawa kit, and the microsol on them just made them disappear. They were actually pretty thick, but the microsol on them are just... ate at it. I don't know what kind of special magic they do, but you know, we got that one, we got this one, we got this one from BP Cast that we'll be working on next. These things are crude as shit. They'll be fine. I don't even have a barrel for it. I lost the barrel, so this barrel is actually removable. I can put them on. I'm sorry, it's this one that's removable. I can put it right on here as well. So until I find one. You know, but it's like, let's just power through it. Let's get them done. Let's do them the best we can do them. Make them look nice, and they'll be plenty good. I know I did the goop for the Panzer II. Where could it have been? It's not that. It's not that one. It's got nowhere else to be. What's this up here? probably need to start labeling these things on the bottom. Hey, this is the base for such and such. Because I'd love to do one vehicle and just do one vehicle at a time, but it's not really feasible because of all the steps it's got to take. Yeah, this one's already got... I don't think that's the one for it. All right, let's find out who the hell this goes to. Okay, I didn't think I had painted it all the way. Okay, that's good news. So this is the one for the Lukes, which happens to be the same size as the Czech 38. Interesting. Okay, so that's the one for the Lukes. These are the two for the Panthers that I'm not thrilled about them being... I made them a lot shorter than... I mean, this works. Like, if you look at... This is kind of how the standard one is. And then I made the Panzer 3s because I'm limited by this length of the shim. I can't make it any longer than this distance. So all the Panzer 3s and 4s are on this side stand. They don't have to be standardized. I just decided to make them. But this one, I can make it whatever length I want here because this is sheet styrene. But for whatever reason, I only made it that length. Now, I don't need it to be extend to the end of the hull. I wonder why I did it this dimension. Look at the JSU. I wonder if it was the same length as that one. I have a method for doing everything. It's not just madness. No, it's shorter. Okay, I'm not happy with these guys for the Panther. So I'm not going to do, I'll use them for something else, but I'm not going to use them for the Panther. Panthers. So we're not going to base the two Panthers today. Because I was looking at that the other day. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I have made it that short? I mean, it works. It just doesn't look equivalent. You know? It doesn't look... There's just too much overhang. I mean, you don't need more than that because none of the rest of it would just is touching the base. I just don't like... I may change my mind later. I'm not going to fool with it with these two. All right. Now, one of these is going to be hard as shit, I bet, because it's been done a while ago. I think it's this one. I'm going to hate life digging into that. Okay. Yeah, because the other Panther, the old Hasegawa Panther that I did a long time ago, it's on a much larger stand. Now, it's probably could be too big, but it's significantly shorter. I don't know why I decided. It's not like I can't cut these a certain length. Now, these other shims, the black ones, the ones I had originally, they are limited by this dimension. They can't be longer than this dimension no matter what. And I went and cut these the same dimension. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. I'm blowing my own mind. Okay. So we're going to refurb this guy as well. So by the time I'm done with it, I'm going to have 4 different Panthers from 4 different manufacturers. And this thing's okay. It's just not how I would do things. You know, and unfortunately, all 4 of them are G's. Which didn't start coming out until maybe July, August 44. So, okay. get our X-Acto knife out. And we'll start off with this little guy. And we're going to need a little device that we scoop the stuff off with. We've got something that's coming in the mail tomorrow, supposedly. That's what I would like to work on. Starting then. Which does include one of the ugliest vehicles of the Second World War in it. No, it's not a duck truck. That would be the right answer for me. Oh yeah, this is hard as shit. Okay. Well, that's what happens when you don't use this immediately. This will be my workout this morning. I made this probably several months ago, and this starts getting really, really durable. Yeah, but I wanted to use the sprue for the antennas. It's just not very durable. I mean, like, I haven't even played a game and this stuff's falling off of things. Like, that's not a good sign. And good morning, Glenn and Barnes. Sorry, got carried away talking about drinking. Which I like talking about drinking much more than actually drinking. All right, let's just check for fit. If that's there, then this needs to go farther towards the edge. This is actually about the right size. Maybe take a little bit off of here. And this one's about right. Now this one we need to go farther towards the edge. Yeah, I have a limited time today. I gotta go out of town just for the day, so this will be the only painting session today for sure. Okay, looking good. Now you can't go around and I know this one guy a long time ago when I used to build models. He would come in and he was so anal retentive about, and don't get me wrong, because I get anal retentive about things too. But he was so worried about building the perfect kit that he never got anything built. And, you know, I'm going to take the opposite tack. I'm going to use what I have, and it's either that or throw it away and start over. I don't want to throw it away and start over. I'm going to make the best I have with the things that, you know, this is a, look at the front track on this one side. It's like mismolded. I'm moving on with it, you know. It's just a thing. I'm not spending hours trying to correct it or not use this kit. Not really a kit, it's a miniature. But I'm just gonna power through it. Okay, this one's ready to go. We'll put some happy little grasses there and it'll be good to go. Now this extends to the end. Man, this one barely fits on here. But that's the size the other pans with 3s are. Did we attach this one yet? We did not. Okay. I don't really want to epoxy this one. I want to attach it with the screws, and I'm not sure I know where they're at readily. Well, and we have to dry brush this thing. Okay. I done screwed myself enough times. This plan isn't going to work. That's why I don't have a whole lot of plan. I don't try to do a lot of planning. We put this guy in here. We're going to cut out the things for the Panthers. We'll base these guys another day. Well, what was this? This is the one that I did for the Panthers. This is the one I was looking for that I couldn't find. I don't know where it was. Gosh, my area is not that chaotic. I'm going senile, like, in a moment. All right. This one has scratches on it. And I'm really happy. Oh, and I was painting the road wheels on this one yesterday. Did we finish? No, that's what we're going to go back to. Finishing the road wheels. And that's why I don't work on one thing at one time. Because you'll run into a hiccup and then be like, oh, fine, work on something else. Just totally the opposite the way I was doing 15s. And I don't like the fact that I have a hard stop in over an hour. Okay, this side's completely done. Yes, okay. It looks like the top row is done. All right, we just got to do the bottom row. Now, I had these, why is the track on there if you were going to paint it like this? Well, first of all, it's not much of a pain in the butt to do this. Second of all, this is already built. I already had this little model built with the track on it. And I'm pretty much used to building things all in the way and then be able to get to the parts with a brush is no problem. Just like when I used to do build model airplanes, I always find it annoying that they want you to stop what you're doing and pre-paint the things that go in the cockpit. Like, I want to see a thing built first. Honestly don't remember what I would do. Maybe they didn't paint the stuff in the cockpit. I honestly don't remember. You forget things that you don't put a lot of thought into, or they aren't very memorable. I did drill out the exhausts. But this is a pretty old model. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a pretty good one. Except for the AA machine gun that was included. It was just garbage. That's why you see that it's not on the turret. We're going to leave it off until we find a better one. One included doesn't even remotely look like any machine gun of any nation. So it's going to make this look not very good using that. If we miss a spot in this process, it's not a big deal. It's probably not going to be noticeable unless I point it out. So we're going to dry brush all this. Good morning there, Kevin. You up early or you stay up all night? That's not that crazy for you to get up. Anything before 4 a.m. is crazy. Damn spell check. Yeah. You know, you can disable that. I hear everybody fighting over a spell check. I can disable it. My biggest problem is I'm just old enough. I never took typing or anything in school. So I can type relatively quickly, but I can't look at the screen while I do it. I got to look at the keyboard. I don't hunt for any keys, but I have to look at the keyboard. And so I make dyslexic mistakes. I'll put I'm trying to type the word orange and I put ornage. All the letters are there. They're just out of order. And not on every word, but it happens, if I'm typing a sentence, it probably happens every sentence. So I hate typing because of that. But, when I write by hand, I don't make any mistakes. You up early this time. Good, that's better. You get your sleep in. And it's really frustrating because I'm a pretty good speller. I'm a very good speller. Not a pretty good speller. I'm a very good speller. And I value that. So when you make mistakes like that, it's annoying. You have to proofread every single sentence you write. I think we're good there with that. Okay, is our rust still here? Yes. Let's go ahead and rustify these. The exhaust. We'll go ahead and do the top of this in black. Come on. Certainly we can bring this thing back to life. There we go. Belarus is where World of Tanks is from. Okay. You've been there many times then, Kevin. Where's War Thunder from? Is it also Eastern European thing? I've never spent a single dime on it. Any game that's available to play free or you can pay for things, I never pay for the things. Because I will eventually get tired of the game no matter what it is. And it's a lot easier to walk away from it if you don't have any money invested in it. I played it quite a bit. I played it long enough to get a Panther. And then I said, okay, that's good enough. I haven't really played with the Panther much. And I'm not grinding just one nation. I play them all. but I hadn't played in a while. I played on the computer. I played on the Xbox. I prefer it on the console. War Thunders, yes. Yeah, I don't have a. I like War Thunder that it has armored cars. I just don't really care about playing games with people that I'm never going to meet. And certainly don't care to listen to them. No honor among thieves. Okay. Got the rustification on that. It's track time. Is brown still good? Yeah, it's good enough. Well, the Tanks has armored cars now? Okay. I like the way War Thunder does the hits better. When you get a hit and it kind of zooms in and it shows you kind of a transparent view of where the shell hit and where the damage gets caused. But I've played World of Tanks a lot more than War Thunder. I didn't play War Thunder. I didn't start playing War Thunder until maybe a year ago. And I've played it a lot less. Okay. Dare I or dare I not? Let's see how much flex we got in here. Is it glued in place? It may be glued in place. It's fine. We don't need to pull this off to paint it. Yeah, it's glued. We're going to leave this thing alone. We're going to leave the tracks alone. We'll just paint them there. Let me get a little bit more volume of this. Just trying to think if that Ostfront game I have, if that's a Eastern European thing as well. I want to say it is. I remember before I had a computer that worked, I was really excited about trying to play oh my gosh, what the hell is it called? The one's by Eugen. I don't know what it is, but they've got a Normandy one and they've got a Destruction of Army Group Center one. But I think it's one of those, by playing one of the demos by one of the other games, it's not the kind of game I enjoy playing. You're constantly, like, you're not being left alone for a second. This is a Panzer, this is a 4J by Fujimi. I have a feeling this used to be somebody else's kit first, and Fujimi repackaged it. But there's things on this. This just has some really good, considering this is, I'm sure this is as old as I am. The molds. It's actually really nice. And it had interior parts and stuff like that. Like there's interior parts of the turret, and I didn't add all those things to it. I'm not interested in that. I don't know how accurate those parts are, but it does have interiors to the vehicle and so forth. Yeah, I've got, so as far as fours go, I've got this one, which is a J. I've got this Dinky, which is a die-cast H. I've got this one, which is a Frankenpanzer. We're going to make it a late G. And I have another 4H, that is the Revell kit. And that's a beautiful model as well. So I've got it to do. And then we have no more. Oh, and I have an F2. I have an F2, it's in gray. That's not done yet. That's why I'm really glad when I got the estate sale, it was mostly Soviet stuff. Perfect. Because I've collected German stuff along the side. Because what happened is I bought all these things at a time when there was a thing called, hobby stores. And you go to the hobby store and you see what they have. And that's what you bought, whatever they had, right? Because it was an impulse buy. So if they had a bunch of German stuff, I got a bunch of German stuff. Now it's like you can buy exactly whatever it is that you need for a scenario or what have you. But I do like painting the Soviets more because what I get a kick out of is painting something that looks like that's either crappy looking, like it's not a good model, or maybe it's something that everybody makes uninteresting, and then put that on its head. Turn that around on its head. Oh, you know what? I'm about to get myself into trouble here. Why is this like glued down? It's okay, it's stapled in. I'm actually gonna do, maybe it isn't glued down. But I just noticed something. It wasn't until like 4 or 5 years ago that I basically have to paint without my contacts in. I'm naturally nearsighted. So I don't necessarily paint better. I notice things I wouldn't have noticed before because my face is like all up in it. And one thing I noticed about these, and I'll show you this, and it goes to somebody else's comment. Somebody had made a comment on one of my posts that said, so I'll just paint this outside of it, that said, oh no, it ripped. Okay, we'll restaple it, I don't care. That said about, wasn't this the one that had the Osketten on it? Which is the wider tracks. And I'm like, no, I think it just has the standard ones. Well, look at these tracks here. I don't know if I can get them to focus. They stick out farther on one side than the other. And the way I had them labeled is the fat part that sticks out is I put it towards the inside on both sides. So I'm going to turn these tracks inside out. That I had them. The other way that I had them. Oh, this is going to get creative. I've fried bigger fish. So let's go ahead and take this off too. It's the only reason I'm doing this. It's like, oh, okay. But that's one of those things I didn't notice. because when I put this thing together, I wasn't doing it with my contacts out. This is not a scripted show. We encounter all kinds of problems here and hopefully deal with them in a reasonable manner. Instead of this being like this, we're going to run it like this. And this will make it stick a little farther out. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and paint this thing while I'm at it. Not that I needed to, but... Alright, this guy we got to fix. And we have a stapler. I don't know if I can find it without the girls' help. Be right back. Well, I'm screwed from the standpoint that I don't know where the hell they put it. We have one. It's just not one that's in here. So we'll have to wait for them to get up to do that. Unless I can be extra crafty. Well, no, wait a second. Because this staple's not doing anything right now. Yeah, we need it like this. This is happening all the time. I just took the thing off. Okay. It won't work on the tracks. Jesus, I guess we won't do it. I guess we won't get anything productive done today. Other people must go through hell. I'm gonna go ahead. I might as well just go ahead and paint the bottom parts of these. It's just a matter of just putting one staple down and moving on. But let's go ahead and do a good job on this. We don't know if this is going to turn out visible or not. That happens all the time. I go and put one thing on, and then I'm like, where the fuck did it go? I'm losing parts like Mitch loses dice on the floor. Oh well. The problem with painting with just contact sand is I have zero peripheral vision. Like I can see 6 inches in front of my face and nothing anywhere else. So I'll look for another color paint and I'm like squinting trying to figure out what color it is because I can't see it out there. I put my contacts and then I'm in and I can't see what's right in front of me. We got tons of staples. We got a staple around there somewhere. It's just a matter of stapling that together and moving on. But that's the thing. If I wasn't filming, what I would have done, and all those several instances already today, I would have just walked away from it and done something else. I'll just go play a video game or something. Because it's easier than dealing with the adversity. Man, it takes a long time to paint those road wheels. I said, well, it's just like you're grinding in a wall of tanks. It takes a long time to get the next tier to your vehicle. And at least here, I don't have to I don't have to wait for the map to load up. Kevin, is there a vehicle on World of Tanks you won't play just because you don't like how it looks? I can't stand those. Is it type 3? The type 3, type 4? No, it's one of those that's like the Panther bottom with a Panzer IV turret. It looks stupid as hell. Yeah, everybody else. Well, you can do whatever you want, you know? It takes time to type. This is just here for accompaniment. That's what I used to do. I'd turn somebody on to a live thing and just watch. And first I'd do, talk radio. Then talk radio just as either politics or sports, and I don't care for either one of those two. So it's easier to have some kind of live program where you don't know what it's going to turn into. Never know what we're going to go with this. Yeah, that Panther bottom with the freaking Panzer IV turret looks stupid as shit. I won't play it. That's the only one I can think of right off the bat. I'm sure there are others, but that's the only one that strikes me. The Lee that operates like a casement gun. You don't get the 37 millimeter turret also. Should had a button where you can switch between the two. Maybe you can't fire both at the same time, but either use the 37 or the 75 when you want to. Oh, I know what it is that I like about War Thunder. You have machine guns. You enjoyed playing the World of Tank because the community in the European Union is poisonous. Really? I don't listen to anybody. I have speak turned off. I just got tired of playing games where there's these 7-year-olds with, a mouth that they won't shut up. It's not saying adults can't be assholes too, but I don't want to listen to some snotling. You know what I mean? Okay. Snotling. That Games Workshop reference. Yeah, I was going to take that staple out and install it on the other one. Just hold it tight, but I guess somebody doesn't want me to finish that one today. Okay. This guy is about done. Well, we got to do the tracks. But other than the tracks, let's go ahead and get this, and we need to do the hatch open too, which I can do that at a later date. This stuff. clear coat. God, it smells good. I don't want to listen to little kids that have never been parented properly. I'm going to put one towards the back there. I don't think we're going to put any on the... Well, we're not going to put one on that side. There's nothing there. I'm going to go ahead and put a gloss spot here and one there and one here towards the back. Okay, now I got all the options for that thing. Now that one can dry. You play a mature rated game, you got to listen to some 7-year-old, you know. So I have all communication turned off. So they may be cussing me out with what I'm doing. I don't care. They can fly a kite up their ass. I do not care. Now these tracks I will not take off because they're not exactly rubber band. They are, but they're like glued in place. So we're going to leave them glued in place. Because right now they fit taut. So I don't play much online at all. I basically don't play online. And I don't care to interact with people that I'm never going to meet. But there's no sense in honor. There's no sense of honor among thieves. You'll play games with people online. They'll just disconnect if things aren't going their way, or they'll throw a fit, or everybody plays. Everybody's trying to max everything out. You remember one of the first games I used to play online way back in it's probably in the late '90s, was Combat Flight Simulator. And there was a limited amount of aircraft you could play in that, but everybody would just play Hurricanes, and that was it. No matter what side you were on, they were always playing Hurricanes because they're the ones that could turn the tightest in a dogfight. So everybody was playing them. So I don't care what plane it is that you're using. If everybody's using the same vehicle, plane, whatever, it makes for a shitty game. So I was playing part of the Diablo demo last weekend and the weekend before. and you can have random people walking through your world. You know, it's kind of open world in that way. My wife's gonna hate that. I don't care as long as we don't kind of encounter them very often, but you'll end up like getting quests that you just happen to be in the area and you freaking complete it and you don't even want to complete it. So it's like it's helpful and some people just wake things up and then walk away from them and you got this hornet's nest to deal with. I don't really care for that kind of engagement with folks that are just right off the street, but a lot of games are going to that. But there's just some maps I just never want to play again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever want to play them. And I don't think on the console there's a way to disable the certain maps. There might be. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to do it. But there's some maps I never even want to see again. I've played them so many times. I never want to have anything to do with it. I need to get some more coffee. Be right back. Yeah, I don't know if there's an option on the console to do that. Say, I don't want to ever play this map again. And the top on that list is Hilgendorf or whatever it is. A freaking city fight with freaking tanks, like stupid. And I've played it a million times. Or whatever it's called. Whatever, something Dorf. I like Karelia. And I like the other one that's also Russia-like that's in Karelia. I don't remember what it's called. Starts with an M. Maybe it's Malanovka? That has like a lake in the middle of it. I like that one. I like the Prokhorovka map. That's the only ones I can think of right now. I think there's one that has like coasts with like a lighthouse or something. No, not the lighthouse one. The one that the bottom of the map or the southern part of the map, if the northern part is like there's like little towns and some kind of a coastline. And the bottom part of the map is like wide open, but it's not like wide open. There's undulations and stuff. That's a fun map too. It doesn't turn up enough, you know. I didn't know there was an option. Hey, don't pick these maps. I'll just sit here and wait until you get the ones I want to play back up. The one that's a snowy pass. I've played that one too many times. It's like, it's all these pinch points. And then you have these tanks and they're doing this the whole time. They're moving forward and backwards and forward and back. It's like, come on, it's just dorky. The desert one where there's like the big, almost like a quarry. I don't want to play that one anymore. Almost downloaded Steel Panthers a while ago. Scratched the World War II itch. I am one of the few people. That's the Kelly's Heroes of games for me. I never liked the look of it. I never liked the look of it. There's some games that they just don't you just don't connect with, and that's one of them that I never connected with. Just the font, I don't know, just something about it just I didn't like. Doesn't matter if the game's popular. Sometimes I just don't connect it. I don't like the Elder Scrolls Skyrim games. I don't like Steel Panthers. I don't care for Fallout. I don't care for what else that's really popular. Oh, the one that was really popular, Quake. Never liked Quake. Steel Panthers is the kind of game that I like. I just don't like its adaptation of it. Now, I love close combat. Love close combat. Now, if they redid Steel Panthers with a better look, sure, you know. But the interface is something you got to fight with for a long time. I got I think it's called War in the East or something. No, it's not called War in the East. Anyways, it's a game that was put out by Talonsoft, and it looks a lot like the Tiller games. Might even be the same author. Anyways, that's a very rough looking game, but I powered through and played a decent amount of it. I wish they made a modern adaptation of that with better looking graphics. It doesn't have to be a lot better looking graphics, but make it look at least as good as Battle Academy. I think Battle Academy is a great looking game. And yes, it's a very basic looking game. It's just, that's a good looking game. But they don't need me as a fan. They got plenty of fans, all those games. But I'm not a retro person, so I don't go back and play something that with EGA graphics or something like that. I've did my time with EGA graphics and VGA. What was the one before VGA? We had four colors. You had black, white, cyan, and magenta. That's all you had. You know, I'll play Armored Commander, which is a throwback to earlier games, but it's not an earlier game. There's a lot going on in it. But I haven't played video games in a bit, not on the computer. Otherwise, I would have been filming them. I want to play alone. Might be something crazy that happened. You guys need to see it. But Steel Panthers had a huge following. Probably still does. I just never connected with it. Like I played Panzer General, the first one. The second one I hated. I don't know, it just didn't look right. I wouldn't play the first one either. It's the whole stacking thing. Like, you know, this guy surrenders because he doesn't have anywhere to fall back. I'm like, what do you mean you can only have one thing in a hex? It's just a hokey little game, but it's fun. Or it was fun. Same here with Panzer General. Oh, you like the first one but not the second one? Second one was just kind of hard to try to wrap your around. You had to squint your brain to see what you're looking at. And it's because it's isometric, but it's not done really well. I don't know. I just never cared for it. The second one. I played the first one quite a bit. There's a game I played a lot. It was called Second Front. It was made by SSI. And it's kind of a precursor to all those Grigsby games that they have, War in the East and all that kind of stuff that they have. And it's a core level Barbarossa. And I played the hell out of that. And it was EGA graphics. It was good enough in the early 90s. I played that a lot. And I love the V for Victory series of games. Velikia. The way they handled the supply. Played that too, plus the updated version of War in the East. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like those games now, but back then you had to kind of play whatever they had. Empire, remember Empire? A friend of mine used to play it over and over again. And when something stops being a challenge, I don't want to play it anymore. Explore the board. I played one of the civilizations. I don't know which one it was. I just have no need for Aztec battleships. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little too hokey. I am really happy with the AK paints airbrushing them. They really are amazing. They really are amazing. Because you don't have to thin them. You don't have to thin them and they work well. You don't have to thin Vallejo, but they won't work well. They're much thicker. I guess they're a better value because you get more pigment. But you're done with PC games now, though. Nothing interests me. Yeah, I know exactly what you're coming from. You've done it all. You've done it all before, and it doesn't solve your creative itch. I'm done with like first person shooters. I'm like, how many times I gotta save the world from demons and Nazis? You guys keep bringing them back. It's on you. That's it. I've killed enough Nazis. You guys need to do your part. There just aren't that many things that come out that really interest me. What was that game that I was talking about by Eugen Systems? And I was so excited to play it. And I didn't have a computer that worked at the time. Let's see what that is. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Steel Division. I didn't get a chance to go on it. Steel Division. I saw Steel Division. I'm like, oh, it's a little micro armor guy moving around. The problem is it's real time all the time. So you're constantly being fucked with. Like, hey, daddy, come over here. Come over here. Come. I'm like, man, that's too much like work. I like how it looks, but now I like the Ostfront game that I have. Whatever the hell it's called. I can never remember. Hell freezeth over. Gates of Hell Ostfront. That's what it is. I like that game. And what I really like is that you could actually just get in. You can get any vehicle or be any person. And, so that was kind of fun, letting the computer kind of play itself and then go in and control one tank. It's just kind of like a simulator. And it has pretty good graphics. Hell freezeth over. I can never remember the name of that game. I at one point said, I was like, I'm done with painting. But then you play a lot of video games, like you don't have anything to show for it. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done with video games. So, you go through phases. I'm done painting and I'm always in a good mood. Done playing video games and sometimes I'm in a terrible mood. Because I've been screwed with the whole time. I've been putting out fires. Whatever it is, it's been, doing damage control, playing a video game. And I come out of them in a bad mood. Now, you go through phases. Like I'm done with playing abstract games. I'm not playing abstract games anymore. It just they're not what I'm interested in. They never were. I mean, why play a game where you're painting, say, German and Russian riflemen and they're all the same? Like, what's the point? Might as well just play with army men, not paint them. You know, so something like bolt action or something generic like that. This isn't. It's not going to tickle my fancy. I'm not going to get my. I'm not going to get my fill playing something like. What's the name of that game? Rapid Fire. It doesn't make me want to read more about stuff. It's like if everything is the same. If I get bored of painting, I'll work on buildings, terrain a while. Yeah. No, I'm enjoying the living shit out of this. I don't miss 15s, and it's not that I dislike painting 15s. It's just that at the end of the day, you end up playing a game that is just kind of I'm putting all this detail and all these figures, all this research. At the end of the day, they all kind of behave the same. It's like it's not really my thing. And I'm done putting on convention shows at conventions. I'm not going to do that anymore. No, you learn. You'd be like, okay, I did this many times, and it's not worth it at the end of the day, so I'm not going to do it anymore. You know, it's not like exactly like it's paying a whole lot. I don't want to play a game with random people. You know, random people that are going to touch my stuff and possibly break it. You know, I don't like everybody, and that's okay. They do it to themselves. So this whole hauling everything to a show, packaging it, hauling it up, make sure you have everything, and then find out either not enough people playing your game or the wrong people signed up for it. I'm just not interested in it. You know, this will be played here. This will be played in this location. I'm not traveling. I'm not going to do all this work and pack everything up and have to move it. And, you know, no, no. And there's a chance I may never play this. I don't know. I'm not. You know, that's not the end all. But I know the only way I'm going to be able to get this thing played is to film everything I play. Because otherwise I'll be like, okay, this is boring and I'll go on to something else. So, you know, there will be games coming up. I'd like to wait to do them until I have a clue. I do have a clue. I've played the game before. But I'd like for it to go smooth. Like I said, I don't want to put something on and then like, oh, this game sucks. Well, it sucks because I don't have my act together and I'm not prepared. And it still may move way too slow for some people. Well, then there's faster moving games for you. As being the leading light of DBA in Florida. Well, there's other people that are supposedly going to take that over. We'll see how that works out for them. I don't have anything bad to say about DBA. I'm just done with it, you know. People that were sitting on the sidelines for 15 years and now they're all, they want to make it all political. We do this and we have this kind of a tournament. We have to do all this kind of stuff. I'm like, well, people gotta have to show up for the regular one. You go right ahead and do that. So, I'll be going to the show. I will not be playing any DBA. You know, I just got to the point that I started going so strong with DBA because I didn't want to spend all this time on these figures and then never have anything to play it with. And it turned into I want to play World War II, and these other figures are keeping me from ever playing it. And if I don't go and paint my World War II stuff now, I'm never going to get a chance to do it. It's basically keeping me from. So now I'm like, I don't care if I play with my 15s again. I'm sure I will, but I'm just saying, I don't care. They were keeping me from doing all this. You know, because I don't have the energy to do both. So if I never play with the 15s again, I never play with the 15s again. But I want to paint some fucking tanks. You know. I mean, I haven't done this stuff in freaking 20 years. And I pushed DBA like a motherfucker the last 2 years. Like crazy. Because I was into it and I wanted the game to not die. And it's just like banging your head into the wall. Just some people come up with excuses for not coming to the show. Okay, it's fine. Just I'll move on to something else then. You know, I don't want to be. I don't want to be pushing this game so hard that's not 100%. First of all, it's not my game. It's not my responsibility to do it, and it's not 100% of what I want. You know, I want to play a World War II 1-to-1 scale ultra skirmish game. I want to. So if these rules don't work 100%, we can tinker with them. But that's what I want to do. I don't want to play a vague 15 millimeter game that treats all blades the same. It is a fun game. I have had some great games. I've met some great people, and almost all the games have been excellent. However, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet, but all there is crappy food. Not crappy food, but it just I've done it. I've done it for too long, and I was really tired of organizing it. Well, are you coming? When is it? When's the convention? When's the convention always? It's always the same weekend. So I was tired of playing Minority Whip, trying to whip up the votes for. No, especially with work. Work has just been and is going to continue being more of a pain in the ass. So they jumped ship at the right time. Mitch, I think, is still going to go on and do some of it. Well, good for him. He can do that. Yeah, I don't like banging my head on the wall. Some guys are like, hey, you got to do a game how to teach people how to play DBA. I did. I did it in Recon 2009. I put on the game. Remember, our convention doesn't pay you to do stuff. You just do it just out of the goodness of your heart. So I gave up a session to sit there and try to teach people how to play a game. One person dropped their kid off who was like 13 or 14 years old. He didn't want to be there, and I sat there and babysat him for 4 fucking hours. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. No, it takes me one time to get bent to figure out, like, oh, not doing that. And most gamers are nomadic. They'll go and they'll get involved in too many systems, and one year they're really, really excited about it, and then you'll never see them again. That's just how most people are. Most people are that way about everything, and I have enough of that kind of chaos at work. I don't need that. I don't need that in my personal life. So as much as I enjoyed painting heraldry and knights and doing the research about it, I don't want to play a game where everybody's knights are the same. You know, it's just stupid for me to put this kind of effort into painting the figures, and I don't not want to put the effort into painting the figures, but you know, it doesn't reward you enough. And at the end of the day, you got people like, "Oh, you guys played the rules wrong," or "That's not how we play them here." Well, we play them however the fuck you want to at your house, you know. Just like this, I don't care if anybody plays this game, this rule set. You know, it's not my problem. So I spent way too much effort in the last 2 years for basically no gain. You know, if it's people just say, "Hey, we're not interested in coming," okay, cool, I'll go do something else, right? But you're sitting there waiting. It's like you're waiting for a date that never shows up. Well, F it, I'm gonna do my own evening of whatever it is. You know, last Historicon, we're sitting there waiting for people to show up and play the game. We could have played demos. There's lots of. I could have Historicon not sign up for anything and have a good time, you know? I'm like, well, not doing that again. That's way too much effort to have that. You know, every single thing you pay, you paint every single game you play, post reports on, like, I don't know, probably 10 different websites, 10 different Facebook groups. And still, there just isn't the interest for it. Okay, have fun. So that's why I'm not doing it anymore. And it's keeping me from doing this, man. Look at all this stuff you wouldn't have been able to see me do. No regrets. I say historian must have felt like a kick in the balls for you. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, people can do whatever. People can, not have enough money to go or be scared of, getting a disease or whatever. It's fine. You have your own reasons for not going. I have my own reasons for not running anything at a convention again. And the last convention I went to here, I mean, we have pretty decent turnouts. We've got 10 to 8 to 14 players consistently, which is plenty of players, honestly. But it's all the make the score sheets, make the awards. One of the awards disappeared. It's just too much babysitting for something that should be 100% relaxation that you're paying money for. And it was all tournaments too. So we said, "Oh, you need to go play this other game." Unless you were playing Art de la Guerre, which I've no interest in playing because it's too big of it's too many troops. And honestly, I don't know how they got away with it because it seems like it's a blatant copyright infringement. But just saying, from the outside, that's what it looks like to me. I'd be pissed if I'd been one of the authors of DBA. All the other tournament stuff was down. I wanted to try Mortem et Gloriam. I think I saw the author over there one time. And he played one game with one person. Just so you can't create interest where there is no interest. There might have been a lot of people to show up to play a game. Might have been people interested in it, but they didn't have the funds, or they were scared of the global situation. Whatever. I'm done doing what I do for other people. It will be what I want to effing do. I gotta do one check. I need to make sure the girls don't need to be up, and I'll be right back. Hopefully, I'll be right back. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, so it wasn't really a kick in the balls. We had a great time. It's not. It's not really that. It's just that I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to consider what other people want because they don't consider what I want. I'm just tired. I mean, I'm tired. I was tired of riling up votes. Let somebody else do it. You know, did it for too many years. And I got really tired of people that were playing this game that had never played many games, but they just stir up trouble. Like, I don't think the rule means this. I said, well, it may not mean that, but everybody in the entire world, we all play it this way. Well, I don't think that's what it is. I just think the internet just gives everybody a voice, and some people just don't deserve a voice. Like, if you're there to cause trouble and destroy communities and cause all kinds of problems, you shouldn't have a voice. You go back and all right, well, we'll settle this in the parking lot and beat each other. Somebody's not going to walk away from this. There's just too many keyboard commandos. So it's a mixture of a lot of different things. And I think it was the right time to walk away. Especially since now there's going to be like this messiah that's going to come in and fix everything. Well, that messiah does not use Facebook, okay? So all that promotion that I did of this game, of somebody else's game on Facebook, that won't happen with that person. That person will not make DBA videos or progress reports or any of that. So, hey, maybe I was the asshole holding everything back and this guy's going to come in and save us all. But, I was just doing way too much and it was falling flat. So, it's time to move on. I was talking about a couple of months ago working on one with more detail to it. It would be something free. It's not to sell. I'm not interested in it for the money. But my heart's just not in it anymore. I'm ready to move from Ancients. I've signed up at this convention to play a whole day of Lion Rampant, which I've played before. I don't, with the intent of maybe playing it with my figures, but I don't know that I'm not that interested. I just want to go hang out, look at other 20mm stuff, World War II, and that's pretty much it. I'm really happy right now. And if you're happy playing whatever rules set you like for World War II, I don't need to convert anybody, Okay. That is that. I think this is all the black stuff on this guy. Oh, we have a machine gun we need to paint. Ah, crap. The tubes to clean the gun. The gun cleaning tubes. These damn Germans putting shit everywhere. Bloody Jerry's. All right. I guess we'll do this. I guess we'll do the panther. Black stuff on the panther. Let's not overuse this fine brush. Be interesting to see how it goes, though, because one of the people that's now involved is somebody who has a habit of playing kind of loose. Like I said, there's a lot of factors that went into my play for the decision of me making the move, and that's another one of them. Considering I have no filter, and I'm proud of it, I see somebody playing shifty, I'm gonna call them out on it. I don't give a shit. You know, it is just a game. Exactly. So don't be a cheater. Dishonorable gameplay not allowed. I just can't imagine the people that let somebody like get away with stuff like that and say, well, look, we'll let him keep playing because we don't want to hurt his feelings. Well, wait a second. He's the one that's cheating. That's some dishonorable shit. Pistols at 30 paces. I don't want any part of that. I'll call somebody out on it. I don't know if I'm going to end up replacing this machine gun because it's kind of stumpy and like the wrong shape, but we'll go ahead and paint it just in case I have a change of heart. This thing has a lot of detail on it, but some of it is just kind of. And honestly, I don't know how the hell this thing's made. I don't know whether this is a molded parts of some kits. I don't know, or this is something from nowhere. But this thing isn't available anymore, and it's actually not. It's actually not bad. It's actually not bad at all. It just has some bubbles in places that shouldn't have bubbles, but you can't really see them unless you get all up in it, like I am. Okay, those are tracks. Okay, this is a bar. You guys in the UK call a spanner. And before I forget, I want to take these areas that didn't get painted and paint them black so we can give them another treatment afterwards. And that's just because these pieces weren't put together at the same time. Unusual on this particular vehicle, but that's just how this one played out. I'm just waiting for somebody to confront me in person. I said, I heard what you said about me the other day. I said, what part? About me being a cheater? I said, well, don't be a fucking cheater then. I don't just arbitrarily grab somebody off the street and say, you know what? You're going to be a cheater on my show. I have no trouble sleeping at night. I heard what you said about my favorite rules. You said they're a ripoff and they should be sued. I said, okay, so what about it? Well, I don't like that. Okay. It's true. You know, I don't think anything should be sued. There's too much suing going on. You should settle it with a duel. That way, if both people are causing trouble, only one of them comes back. I have no trouble sleeping at night. I'm fair. You know, I've got somebody that's trying to, fix something that right now that was kind of, I got a raw deal on, and I will give them credit for fixing that if they do. Shit happens, so I'm not going to let's make a video and make these people look bad. No, just tell it like it is, Pistols at dawn. Yeah, why wait till dawn? Yeah, you can either have no filter or be a sales weasel. I know which one I prefer. Barnes, you're not the one that's in. One of you guys was traveling to Florida. I'm thinking it's you. Was it you? And if it was you, how did it go? It wasn't too hot this week. I'm not sure why I was thinking that was maybe you. Not unless I built a tunnel there. Okay, that wasn't you. I'm scared of going into tunnels. As I've gotten older, and I'm not a claustrophobic person, I'm afraid of getting caved in. I have a real fear of that. It's not that I won't go into those places, but I have this intense sense of foreboding and uncomfortableness. I don't like going in caves or. They have this fort that's in Puerto Rico. This is actually several years ago. Many years ago. Let's see. My daughter was like 2. Yeah, it was many years ago. They have this fort in Puerto Rico that is a big fort, and they have these spots on the fort where they're man height and at the battlements, and they're like these tunnels. And what they do is they taper down to almost nothing, where somebody can lie like inside the fort, inside the battlements of the fort, so you're protected by brick or block or whatever it is, and still shoot your musket. But you have to be prone all the way to the end. I wouldn't go in there. And there's not that much block above me. I'm uneasy about it. you know. I won't fly and I get horrible seasickness. I see. I don't get seasickness. I would go everywhere on a boat if you could let me. I love the ocean. Now, I've never been in a North Atlantic gale. I'm just saying, I am a seafaring person. Flying is super cool, but it is like taking drugs, I guess. I've never taken drugs, so it's just very surreal. And it's like, is this really happening? It's just too weird, and I just detest turbulence. Now, I can have some whiskey and it makes it all better, but it's not like it's not like I get airsick. I'm looking out the window the whole time, but it's very trippy. So I love traveling by sea, though. Air, not so much. Especially not how inconvenient they make it air travel now. Because I'm just worried about the plane falling out of the sky. Because I'm just worried about the metal bird. I'm not worried about terrorists. I'm not worried about anything else other than that. And then you go and you got to jump through all those hoops that you do going through security and stuff. It's just really stressful. It's just a really stressful experience. But yeah, if you get seasick, I wouldn't want to travel by ocean either. But I don't. I do not. I think you get more phobias as you get older. Can't wait? Yeah. Well, the news certainly wants to create more problems for you to worry about. It doesn't work on me. I don't listen to the news, but. Okay, the tracks on that are done. We need to do the main tracks. How are we doing on time? I better cut off. I need to get ready to. We're going to travel to another city. So, we need to do that, and the girls got to get ready. And if I do start something else, I won't be able to do enough of it to finish it. So, okay, well, that's where we're at. So we did a lot of stuff and we didn't do a lot of stuff at the same time. So, anyhow, there'll always be more to do. So, but that's the plan, is to finish this group of 4, and then we'll go to Russians. We'll go to the Russians for a little bit. So let them catch up. Thanks, Barnes, to you for coming by. Much appreciated. Hanging out, and the rest of you guys as well. And hopefully we'll do something with the trees as we go in between stuff, because I do want the scenery to be up to par with the rest of this stuff. And we got some figures out here that we need to finish. We got some new stuff coming in tomorrow, supposedly. Anyways, lots of stuff coming up in the 20mm land. Okay, folks.